just has like the right connections or right place or right mind or whatever, like could see all this evidence and then put pieces together and like really truly solve more like unknown victims. You just never know. But people can't do that without being able to look at the evidence.
No, if creators are going to clutch the evidence and act like they own it, and they're entitled to behave that way if they want to, but I thought it deserved calling out, and I just thought it deserved a better example to be set.
Well, I don't think that it's fair for creators, including us or anybody, to decide that strangers don't know how to like put puzzle pieces together. Like you cannot decide who can figure something out and who can't. It's not up to you.
I agree.
So I feel like our audience, just, all of our subscribers to crimecult.com, like you're the reason we were able to get it, because like, it definitely all paid for itself.
I can't say enough good things about our subscribers. I can't thank them enough for their support, because really we wouldn't have been able to do it if it weren't for you. And so thank you. And thank you for allowing us to kind of make this point. And yeah.
One thing I've noticed about like people that are like sort of like gatekeepers in true crime stuff is it's almost like the one ring in the Fellowship of the Rings, where it's like the longer you hold on to it, the more it corrupts you. It's like you just see some people that are just sort of really married to their version of facts. And that's one thing that I've tried not to do, is stay down in any one rabbit hole for too long. I like to move around. It's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Susan had a question about why do you think he brought the burner in water when he killed the couple? I wonder if he branded them as a way to torture them. Yeah, mind rebels. But you guys have any thoughts on that?
I don't know. Sometimes I think that like the options of like just not knowing, it could be so much more like simple than we think. Because I remember one time at work, because like I used to do work at like nightclubs doing hostess stuff way back in the day. And we lived in like all over the US. So sometimes I would just meet people who had all kinds of different backgrounds, and I would just end up talking to them and asking them questions. And I met this one fireman he started talking to me about arson. Like he brought it up. So I just asked him, I was like, okay, well, what's the best way to get away with that? Like, and he told me that if there is a radiator or something, some kind of burner, and you just knock it over, that's the easiest way to cover up like an intent to cover up arson. So one of my first thoughts on the burner was that it was used to burn the house down. But then my other thought would be like, why would someone like Keyes ever care to cover up arson and make it look like it wasn't an arson? I don't think he would care at all about that. And then another thought, of course, is like
he tried to cover up the murder. His last murder.
Yeah.
It's really
so. I mean, it could have been used to burn the house down. I don't know about like regarding torture methods. I try not to like think about that stuff because we just don't know, and it's that starts going down a really dark hole.
Yes. Yeah, I'm posting a link in the chat. Oh, I finally got the images downloaded, so we can take a look at those in a minute. But one of the things that is sort of involved in this whole labs failure is there's a science called arson science, where they would analyze the burn patterns. And this is a really searing article I read from a really good writer named David Gran, who chronicled that Texas executing a guy who was in all likelihood innocent of an arson murder charge. The article is called Trial by Fire. It's a fascinating read. That goes into the whole detail of like how these arson investigation science started. I refer to them as folk sciences because they're like I don't know, not really science, but anyway, it's just nuts because like lots of people got, put to the chair for this kind of stuff. Same with like bite mark, tool mark. There's a bunch of them. It's really weird. Anyway, everything always circles back in this weird world, But yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Leo made me think of this. I am going to. Is the chat private?
No, you should. Well, there's a private chat and there's a public chat. So yeah.
I just shared in the comments for anybody who wants it the link to our all the evidence that we just made for free.
Right. Yeah.
So,
we linked it earlier, but it's never bad to link it again because there's tons of great stuff in there. Yeah. I think it's in the description as well. But anyway, yeah, we can link it everywhere in the world because it's.
I'm coming in late in like and I'm not even done really. I'm gonna have to bow as soon as my manager knocks on the door here. I'm gonna have to step out.
Yeah, sorry to pull you away, but it is nice just to get you to drop in.
I'm sorry that this is such a. It's just what doing this is like. I just as easily could have not had a customer all day. And instead I sold the WRX that I posted a video about just this morning.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Fun cars.
Thank you. Congrats.
That's a very Juno car. Yeah.
Just got a new car.
So we got these photos, and I think you guys want to take a quick gander at Israel Keys' belongings? I guess I should get on mic. Let's do that. What do you think?
Sure.
I guess we could also move on to another one if you guys think DPS isn't quite where it's at anymore, but it is really eerie to look at these guys. I think I can.
If you can't see the link in the chat, you can just go to crimecult.com. It's relatively easy to find that stuff on the website.
Yep. Yeah.
I am really curious about your experience with like prison life and the stuff you talked about with that.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I that was it. I didn't know how to word it because I'm what is your work history in regards to like the prison system?
Well, like when I first started working in criminal law, and I really had no encounter with it before, so it was very new and weird to me. I worked at the public defender, and so you're talking to people who are in prison all the time. The link to here we go. It was just posted by Walker Lane. That's Parker's handle on YouTube if you want to subscribe for some great car content too. But that's the link right there, Crime Cult, and now a Victory Lap. That's the stuff we've been reviewing all night. So, but when you work for the PD, you end up, talking to people who are in jail awaiting trial. And people in jail have a lot of time on their hands. So you just have a long and sort of intimate connection to folks and what they do all day long and what their routines are like. And you also go and visit them in jail, because you have to talk to your clients before they go to trial to confer with them. And it's just a mess. Turns out that prison guards don't really like defense lawyers and their staff, so you end up getting stuck. It's just a very weird experience. And so I'm
sure there's a lot of animosity there.
Not well between like the cops and it's just a really tense environment because
like a territorial thing.
Yeah, like the prison guards don't like defense attorneys because they're, I don't know, on different teams or something like that. And it's just all very close quarters and it gets very real. You know what? Let me repost the link here. I'm sorry. I think folks are a little bit confused because it didn't come from the main account here. I've got it right here. Okay. But yeah, it's just you kind of just come to understand like what the whole deal is in there. And the other thing is I did a lot of work with people who had been in prison for a long time and are like now corresponding with anybody trying to get their case to get worked on. And yeah, that's how I got involved in the whole FBI thing. I just opened the letter one day and, my whole life descended into a 15-year-long thing. And that case is actually still being litigated. Like I opened that letter and started getting into the hair and fiber stuff, that was like 2008. So
Wow.
close
That's
to 20 years.
crazy.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, that's, yeah, worked with a lot of people in jail. And
You want to look at the
yeah.
cell stuff?
So I've got the pictures up right now from the PDF we downloaded. I think that his possessions, is that what you're referring to?
Oh, I meant like the prison files that we got.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, let's switch over to that. We're just looking at a headlamp right now, and it's a little creepy, but let's see here. So we've got. Yeah. Oh, is it going to be the Anchorage PD one? Is that it? It's the last one. Some link.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. We're juggling tabs here. Okay. Yeah, this is the real. I guess if people are a little bit sensitive to blood, I guess maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, some late keys files. Here we go.
I definitely also gave a little a warning before looking at these. But it's interesting seeing his cell because I'm assuming like this is not normal. If someone ends up taking their life in prison, they're not smearing blood everywhere.
Yeah.
Like all over the walls.
And there's some
or like filling up milk cartons with it. Like it's a lot.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff that he writes on the walls that people have been speculating about too. So maybe we can get some answers on that. Sorry, I'm just making sure we'll check in with the chat as well. But so the first one's just a B3, that's his cell, I'm assuming. And then we see a garbage can filled with some of his effects, perhaps printed out pictures from a prison printer. Yeah, lots of weird stuff in there like that.
That's a prison printer. Like he had to. You think he asked for it to be printed?
Yes, you can't get like normal photos. Like there's so many weird things like that. You know, that just the prison has all these weird regulations. I don't know. I'm just that's my assumption.
Hey, yeah. Victoria.
Yeah.
Will you drop that same link for everybody? Because I think what's happening is people are watching on individual channels, and it's preventing them from. I don't know. Just a guess.
I dropped it in again, but oh yeah, that's the other thing to mention, I guess, is that may be confusing folks, is that we're streaming in 3 different places. So yeah. And that's why I'm trying to keep track of the chat. So yeah.
The Leo Paul Helmar channel, the Victoria Evans channel, and the Walker Lane channel. So
yeah, we're mixing it up. And just imagine if we start streaming to multiple destinations, you know, we're really getting out there.
That'll be crazy.
Yeah, thank you for hosting this, Leo. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
he's a great host.
Well, except for when it comes to getting a mic to work. But so okay, we're looking at this one. Do we want to move on to let's kind of buzz through some of these, or what do you think?
Yeah, sure. I thought it was like interesting what you said about the prison printer, though, like that he had to specifically ask for that picture.
Yeah, because this was back in like late 2012, and so I didn't even know. At that point, I was working actually for the prosecutor's office. I moved to the other side, so I wasn't. But like, it was difficult to get. They don't nowadays. They have an email system where they get printed emails that they can use to correspond with people. But even that it's arduous to get done because it costs money usually, and people in prison don't often have money. So yeah. Anyway.
Here it looked like he was trying to like practice rolling up the paper to attach to the pencil. Because that's how he like made that makeshift. He like stuck a razor in a piece of a pencil, like a really short pencil, and then he elongated it so he could hold on to it. And it looks like he has 3 different versions here of trying to like roll that up.
Great. So it looks like your link did work, Walker. So we can Parker. So we can be assured of that. Jill had
it's also super easy to find if you just go to crimecult.com.
Yeah.
Scroll down a little.
It was on December 24th. Yeah. It was
Christmas
Eve. Yeah.
Yeah. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day we posted the last 2.
Jill had a question about the rumors that were started by True Crime BS that FBI agent Ted Holla said Keyes may have had 54 victims and had written it in blood on the cell wall and then smeared it away. Well, that's quite the scenario. Sorry, I should have put that up. You guys heard
Yeah.
that?
I heard it from Jill, who commented on our channel,
Okay.
and that's the first I ever heard of it. I don't like, did Ted Holla actually say that himself?
Yeah.
Because like if you look at the cell photos, like if you pull them up, you cannot see that. Like I've looked, I've zoomed in on them, I've tried to find them like on the wall, like it doesn't look anywhere like it said 54 and then it was smeared. Like where?
Yeah, there's the writing.
However,
Yeah.
I do believe that that sounds like something that TCBS would come up with.
Yeah. Does sound a little fan fiction-y. This is one of the more interesting things that I've seen, just in terms of people's interpretation of it. That it's, I believe it says Caracol, and I guess that's a place in perhaps South America or Spanish word. But there's also an island near where I am in Southeast that's named Caracol, but it's very obscure.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it? It's an Alaskan island?
Yeah, it's probably like within
Whoa.
200 miles of me. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, it's in the,
I assumed it was from his time in Belize because Caracol is that Mayan archaeological site with like the Mayan pyramid. And they used to like, you know, they're famous for cutting people's heads off and like kicking them off the pyramid and like building like towers of skulls. And like they have like insatiable bloodlust. Like the Mayans worship blood and death.
right.
And you know that culture still carries on to like modern day Mexico and like just the area of the Mayans. So like I just assumed that it was that from his time in Belize. But
Yeah, I mean that's
I don't know.
and then this one says if you know, I kind of buzzed through a bunch of these at once, so maybe we could move back, but I don't know if you, because I just kind of wanted to give people a sense of what the area looked like, just so they could make their own interpretation of whether or not that might be plausible. Seeing his glasses, and also just this is just random, but like the color of his hair being so greasy and gray, I don't know, it just kind of looked like an older man that I would have guessed Keyes was at 36, you know.
I didn't think his hair looked gray. Wait,
Okay,
is it?
maybe it's just the coloring on my monitor or something, but it came off to me as like odd.
It definitely looked like greasy though.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
But apparently people in prison, you either age a lot from the stress, or if you had like really bad habits, you end up looking more youthful because you stay sober and you have to get up early in the morning, and like
yeah,
it like puts you on like a system.
Yeah, some people kind of like take to it very well, and others, you know, it's very. This one also kind of gives a real vibe just of how pathetic his little world is. You know, just these don't look like a cabin, a Boy Scout bunk or something, but covered with blood and random effects. Boy, that's like real thick blood. So, you know, there must be in our artery blood. I'm assuming, you know, that's kind of what I'm taking from that photo.
Yeah, they said that he cut his arm, like a vein in his arm, and then he was laying on top of it, I guess. But one of the guys interviewing the correctional officer said that he could see the blood through the window in Keyes' cell, through the monitor. Like looking at a monitor, you can see the cell, and then you could see the blood pooling through the monitor in the window. So the fact that the police officer or the correctional officer didn't see it became a big topic in the interviews, because they were like, how could you not? It's so much, like it's so much blood. Look at it.
And I think that led to some people to speculate that maybe the guards were looking the other way. Richard, I wanted to thank you before for the $20, and I really appreciate the another 10. So I guess we should take priority with his question. I wonder if Keyes was a Satanist. The serious lack of motive for his crimes, the lack of empathy, and the sure randomness of his crimes makes me wonder. Have you guys heard anything about Satanism being involved with Keyes?
Yeah. In episode 1 of our new 3-part series, we talked about this. We actually play audio from Keyes' interviews. He talks about Satanism himself, and he says that he was really interested in it when he was younger, and that he was planning a satanic ritual with that girl who he ended up sexually assaulting.
Yeah.
But then he said when it actually came time to doing it, this satanic part completely, he lost interest, and he just got so focused on actually like harming this girl and like the sexual sadism aspect. He's like, it totally went on the back burner. I didn't care about it. And then he realized after that if he doesn't believe in God, then how could he believe in the devil? Because how could the devil exist without but then God doesn't exist? And he was just saying that it didn't make sense to him. So he actually became an atheist, and he felt like none of it existed, and he fell away from Satanism because he said that being a Satanist didn't it contradicted his atheism. So he was interested in that when he was younger. And I think as he got older, if you grew up super religious, like I did personally, grew up super religious. And I remember in I think it was my first year of college, I bought the Satanic Bible just to read it. Because I was like, if you grew up so religious, there's always a curiosity there about other religions. What are they doing? What about Satanism? What about the devil who's so bad? What is this? So there's always an interest there. And then I think a lot of us were yeah, this is stupid. And then we lose interest too. So I remember reading the Satanic Bible and being like, this is not interesting like I thought it would be. And I think a lot of people have kind of experienced that. But then the interest or I don't know how to call it. It's the style. Yeah. You were just talking about rock music.
The Taboo, Redford
style
11.
Still remains the interest in the style surrounding it. So a lot of people will think, oh, that's so satanic, but you're not actually satanic. You like metal.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? So I can see how
dressing,
the
I'd
style
like
might
to
have
take a
remained.
second to speak to the idea that there was no motive.
Ooh.
The psychopathy is a self-evident motive. He has compulsions that he doesn't have functional control of that lead him into those acts. So that's the motivation, is just a personality disorder that he's burdened by.
Yeah, I think that you made that point early in the first stream that we did, and it's really stuck with me ever since, because it's it's maybe just under your nose a little bit. But the other thing I wanted to mention is I posted a link in the chat to the early years part 1, which is, I believe, what you're referring to. It was published back in February of 2025 that has the Satanism stuff in it.
I also want to add, I like to say when I mention that they're compulsions, is that doesn't remove his individual culpability.
Right.
Because we all have compulsions and we don't all act on them.
Right.
Yeah, this is where the whole lead theory of violence came in. I love that because it's so interesting. It adds a really interesting wrinkle, which is, there's a lot of these sort of data graphs that show violence going up with the emission of lead or in gasoline and paints and stuff. So people think there may be a correlation. It's hard to say, I guess, but there's been books about it. One called Murderland recently about the smelting plant in, I think it's Spokane. But anyway, that's one explanation for why they might be so many serial killers from the Washington area.
Interesting. I think it's like a big combination of stuff. Because like he had what, 11 siblings?
Somewhere in there, yeah. An
So
Irish
like
Catholic level of siblings, yeah. My mom had
Yeah.
like 8, but she grew up in like the 50s, so
it's a lot.
yeah.
And so it's interesting to see like what is his like younger brother like, or his sister,
Yeah.
like his older sister. So I mean, you could still be impacted by something environmental like that impacts like your brain development or hormones and can like lend you like make you more like rageful, I guess, or prone to anger. But like, how far does lead poisoning take you? Does it
Yeah.
take you to kidnapping, rape, murder, disposal, arson, bank rob? Like, at what point are we talking? This is like, you know what I mean? So like,
Right.
I could see someone like getting really, really hostile and angry, but like, yeah, I think at some point he's just a psychopathic, homicidal maniac.
I mean, the lead also removes like damages executive functioning and impulse control and all of that stuff. But again, for me, how I view it all, it doesn't remove the individual culpability or responsibility for those actions. He's still a murderer. I wish that the state had killed him instead of him getting to kill himself. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just such a mess. Susan had a question about if you guys had any thoughts about what would have happened if Israel's daughter or girlfriend had walked in on the shed, and there's that incident that's described in the book American Predator, where it sounds like his daughter was like knocking on the shed, and I think Walker referred to this recently in a conversation. Yeah, what would have gone down then?
that always leaps out to me whenever anybody brings up the idea that he was some kind of a good dad. Like, oh, but he was a good dad. No, he wasn't. He absolutely was not.
I think he was like a better dad than people would have expected, maybe. So that's maybe where the dissonance comes in. But yeah, it's interesting the way that it gets framed. Yeah. There's another comment Jill had about the FBI enhancing images of the walls. That's where the 54 victim idea came from. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. One thing that's really interesting about like the true crime communities is just the little stories that just sort of gives you an indication of like where people's imaginations will go, but
For sure.
I don't really
Yeah.
a brain defect is in maybe I think it's just like the lead poisoning thing is interesting because it emerged before this whole serial killer hypothesis. It's just a violence hypothesis, but it's just like a systemic damage that it does to your system that was only discovered, I guess, after lead was widely introduced to many different things.
I think it's a fascinating theory. I shared do you remember, was it the Washington Post? There was a story that I sent you recently, like this last week.
Yeah.
It was about this same idea, except it wasn't about gasoline or leaded paint. It was about in the Pacific Northwest specifically, they had a lot of
the smelting
plants.
Yeah.
And they have a suspicion that might be why the concentration of killers seems to be higher there, although I remember researching that, and I'm not sure that was. I don't know that was super accurate.
Yeah, and you're dealing with small sample sizes at a certain extent.
Well, and also you're dealing with a lot of intangible, potentially unidentified. Maybe the serial killers who live in the Pacific Northwest are less competent than the serial killers everywhere else because of the lead, and so they've gotten caught at higher rates. So it looks like there's more density.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Because like we know of more in the area, but that doesn't mean there aren't more somewhere else.
Yeah. Exactly. Jeez,
it also doesn't mean that they didn't go there for other reasons. There could be something about that region, kind of similar to Alaska in that regard.
Right. There's some sort of filter, and yeah.
I mean, Alaska, as you know, because you live there, it attracts a certain kind of person with a certain kind of mindset and a certain kind of personality. And I think that's true Pacific Northwest as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he specifically said that it was more difficult to get away with stuff in Texas because everyone has a gun. You
Mhm.
can't that we talked about this with the last time a little bit, but like all it would take is for Keys to walk into the wrong house. I mean, Bill Courier almost if he I feel like if age wasn't a factor and he didn't need like specific medication, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was just the it would just take the wrong house to walk into. Someone
Mm.
with a gun being like, "I'm not putting up with this. You're out of your mind," and just shooting him. Like the
Mm.
whole, Indiana Jones, that famous scene where the guy with the knife, he's going like this and Indy just pulls out a gun and shoots him.
Yeah.
Keys just needed to meet the right Indiana Jones type to like just shoot him in
Mm.
the face. So like I think that people are picking regions where it's less of a thing,
Mm.
less likely that that will happen.
Even without a gun, I mean, granted, he did use a rifle to do it, but not he didn't shoot the guy to death. That Chris and my mind's blanking on the other name, but the Wells family
Mm.
that we talked about during the last stream, he just beat the guy to death. So
Yeah.
that's even that was a possible outcome for Keys as well. It just unfortunately didn't go that way.
Mm.
Yeah.
A couple quick, good, interesting comments here. Susan mentions that Israel hit all the ticks for a serial killer, torturing animals, arson, and yeah, it's like when you go over the stuff that's in the description for like a factor two antisocial, however you want to define it, he really does hit like every single one. And I also Joan mentioning that there's an Aryan nation near Idaho. I was just thinking of the fact that after the OJ trial, Furman moved to Sandpoint, Idaho, which is, I guess, notorious for that. So yeah, lots of that in the area.
I believe that was at Hayden Lake, Idaho, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you get into those like areas of those states, like on the west coast that aren't populated, it's such a different vibe. Like it's not the hippy dippy city vibe of a Portland. It gets definitely strange. And yeah, Susan, bring it. This is like something I don't think like we have touched on it a couple times, but his family was living in a tent for years, right? Like,
yeah,
because
so actually
flip houses.
The living in the tent thing was in some early information I got. So the first documentary that I made for YouTube was like almost 5 years ago.
Wow.
So I put that out. That's the living in the tent is actually not in the new documentary. That information's been updated with the files we've got. His family was like renting a trailer on a property. So it was still a very, very kind of like impoverished and small situation that they were in. So like Keys could have been exposed to something like that. I don't know. But like it was still a small area, but they weren't like living in a tent. And I think there was also some confusion because when Keys first did work on that house in Maupin, Oregon, on the back of his pickup truck, he basically like built a tent on the back of it and then slept in the bed of his pickup truck in this like makeshift tent while he worked on the house. And then his family would drive in there like in an RV, I think. No, maybe not an RV, but they would drive down to the house from the farm that they were living on in the trailer and then like work on it during the day and then go back. But still, I mean, it was a really small place and like they still lived in a small cabin on the property. It's still a lot of kids. That's why when Keys was like 16 or 17, he built his own cabin. And his mom was like worried he was spending too much time alone, which I think is crazy. I'm like, if you have a 16-year-old boy and like he's a teenager, he probably doesn't want to live with like 13 other people in a tiny house. And so he goes and builds his own like cabin. I think it says a lot about his mom having problems like letting her children be independent.
Right.
Which can be also
codependent
like,
type relationship.
Yeah, that's super messed up too.
Yeah.
Because you create like attachment style issues.
Yep.
by doing that.
You know what, Victoria? I was just thinking that the description that Callahan had in American Predator seemed to mirror the. So maybe she just took that from you and didn't fact check it or something. Because I'm just. It's funny.
Oh no, I took that from her.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And
That's
then I took some of it from the FBI files. So if I remember, there was a tent mentioned in the FBI files, but not all of the stuff in those files is correct because
Sure.
it's coming from interviews with people.
Yeah, they're like 302s. They're
And
raw interviews.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you read through all of them, there's like contradictory information. Like some people will say they lived here, and then in other files they're saying something else.
I guess the
So
other
like
thing to
Yeah.
mention is that you can't really confirm it. It's not like they're paying property tax or whatever. Yeah.
the
A
only
lot of-
reason I figured out where his family actually lived is because finally we got more interviews with Keyes himself, and he
Mhm.
explained in the interviews that his family didn't live in a tent.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I know that. I don't know where, like, who the FBI interviewed that someone thought that, but I don't know.
And
know
he's
that-
not exactly a reliable narrator either. Sorry to interrupt, Parker.
No, you're
No,
okay.
he's not.
I know that this idea isn't the most popular amongst true crime fans. I know that they hate hearing it, but it's factual, and eyewitnesses are the most compelling to other people,
Hmm.
and also the type of evidence that is most likely to be wrong. And that includes a lot of what Leo was talking about earlier of sort of evidentiary techniques that have been completely essentially disproven. And if you factor that in and consider that eyewitnesses are still the least reliable form of evidence.
Yeah, they're very suggestible. So that's why the lineup's so important. There's an incredible documentary called Murder on a Sunday Morning about a bad witness ID or in Jacksonville. And it's like you see the whole scenario play out, and it's kind of shocking. Anyway, that's a good one to watch if anybody hasn't seen it yet.
If
I
I
think of
seem
that
distracted,
scene in,
by the way, I just want to apologize. I'm like watching for, at some point, I'm going to have to hop up out of this chair and throw some plates on the back of the car. So I'm just trying to.
Oh,
Okay.
like not like dinner plates, but some kind of.
Temp tags.
Okay.
I watch a lot of comedy, and I love Larry David. And there's this episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where someone's trying to ID Larry for doing something.
Mm.
And so they're behind this glass at the police office, and there's a lineup of people. And they tell everyone to leave except Larry David, who's a skinny white guy, and then a black man.
Yeah.
And they're just the two of them. They couldn't look more dissimilar. And the police officer's asking the witness, like, which one was it? And he's like, I just can't tell. I just don't know. And it's like, they don't even look anything alike, dude. But like, that is what I think. That is what I think of when I think of like eyewitnesses, like describing stuff. Cause like your mind can just like fill in the blanks. Like,
And a lot of time you just kind of want to do what the authority figure like wants you to do. So you're almost like looking to them. I guess Susan Bennett, a frequent and very good commenter, says she's a car saleswoman in Florida. So she's a member of
Oh, cool.
the tribe.
What? I'm curious. What do you sell? Or is it a used dealership? Is it a franchise dealership?
I love car people, man. I was telling Parker that I used to work for a place that licensed 1-800 numbers, and you just learn their world. It's really fun. It's strange.
I need to get a light kit in this place.
CarMax.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the big blower. This is got to be one of the biggest players in the industry, right?
They're not really, but they're having an outsized effect on the market right now. They're
Perfect.
CarMax and Carvana are
Oh, yeah.
responsible for about 3% of sales, and they're responsible for about 15% of the purchasing out of auctions, which is starting to pressure the independent dealers, like the guy that I worked for down the street before I took this job.
Mm.
He's having a difficult time finding cars at auction.
Mm.
The reconditioning costs that he's paying on those cars are higher, not just because reconditioning costs have gone up, but because the cars that he's getting require more work. because CarMax and Carvana have a much larger financial backing than he does, being publicly traded
Yeah.
companies. The way I like to say it is they can just go and sell another tranche of stock,
Yep.
and they have another $1 billion to go and buy more cars. My friend Brian down the street, he's got to borrow money or use his own money.
Or you get the dealer financing. One of the things I love about car guys, and this is one of the things I love about true crime, is just the particulars. Like, I just like people that are into the particulars, and like it's almost like the brand that a novelist will use to add interesting detail to a character. They smoke Marlboro cigarettes, or just, I don't know, it's just funny to me and interesting. I like hearing about these weird little worlds.
I miss smoking Marlboro cigarettes.
Yeah. It's a hell of a brand. Do you guys want to keep looking at photos, or I don't know? I just want to check in.
Yeah.
2 hours has gone by. We're all rich and full.
God.
Man, this was so fun.
I didn't realize the time.
No, but I'm good to keep going too. I have a habit of checking in around 2 hours because I find that
I've only been here for
more
about 20 minutes, so I'm good.
More photos, or just checking.
I was just saying we could look at more of the keys evidence, like the cell stuff, but it's up to you.
No, I'm with it. I'm totally good. I'm fresh as a daisy. I just wanted to touch base here. I'm going to stop sharing that. Okay. So let's see here. Let me get back into present mode, which, let's see here. So we've really touched on, ones I don't think we've touched on at all are Anchorage Police Department stuff, Essex Police, and the interviews. Those are the ones we haven't looked at all. Are any of those the ones you were referring to, or?
Oh, I just meant the new evidence we got, since those have been,
Okay.
I mean, we could talk about that if you want. Those have been available for a while, so I don't know.
So I think these are going to be in like
we can definitely, whatever you want to talk about. Like,
so these are going to be like a later post, like from this, not the December 24th one, right? And there's the December 25th one, some late keys files. Okay. Yeah. I think this is.
Oh yeah, those are all the prison ones.
Okay.
It's up
you
to
remember what it's called? No, just tell me what it's called, because I mean, you know this stuff much better than I do. So I want to follow your lead.
I just thought if anyone had any, since those are the most recent files we got, if anyone had questions about any of the keys prison files,
right,
feel free to ask.
Yeah.
But I mean, if anyone has questions about any of the evidence, we can take a look at it.
Yeah. It's just a labyrinth in there. What was the latest material that you released? Was it, I think Parker earlier said that there was released on the 24th and then the 25th of December
So the 24th we made everything public, and then the 25th we released the prison stuff.
Okay. So would the stuff that you were talking about be in there or somewhere else?
Oh, the stuff I'm talking about is if you look at the link that we sent, the Now a Victory Lap link, that's going to be some late keys files. Those are the prison files.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, you're okay. I'm sorry. I'm with you now. Okay. Because there's a lot of other stuff than just the one PDF we looked at. There's a ton of other stuff, right? We got audio. Yeah. Okay. Should have had this.
I would just thought it would be interesting to take a closer look at the cell photos.
Okay. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. Sorry. I should share my thing. I'm a little all over the place, a little verklempt. Here we go. So late keys files. I have like 50 tabs open, of course, as per usual. So I think this is about where we were left off at one point. If you want to direct me at all, if I'm in the right place, I wish I could hand it over to you. Yeah, I'm sure you could just spin through all this stuff.
Oh my
God, what is that?
Was kind of looking at stuff that people had said about it, just the amount of blood that there was, and
Right.
like how a guard could not see that. And in the interview, when the guy interviewing the correctional officer said that when he walked by Key's cell, he actually like put his hand up
Keys did.
and like as if he was trying not to see it. He walked by the cell, put his hand
Oh.
up, and then put it back down.
So you're
as
saying
if to like
Mhm.
shield himself from having to look at it. And then there are a bunch of comments people left, like the COs are covering up that they ignored Keys and let him do it. That's what it sounds like. A lot of people are saying if you're trying to get justice for victims in this case, he should have been under a microscope until sentencing, which I totally agree with.
Yeah.
Someone sarcastically wrote, "What a shame," which like
Yeah.
really made me laugh.
Yeah.
Laugh because like it's a shame in the sense that like he can't give more evidence, but like I also get the sentiment of like this guy was like garbage. So
Yeah, there's a couple questions about the suicide note, and I think this might be it. I mean, there's a big bloody thing right here. Is that the suicide note, or do we know anything about what this?
This is the note. So they like cleaned it up. I'm pretty sure this is the same one. There were a bunch of pages.
God.
So that may or may not be
Oh God, yeah.
the exact note. But
Okay. Yeah, there's a few different. I'm just like reacting to the volume and like just the nature of the blood. It almost looks like it's
like congealed.
yes. Yeah, it's pretty intense. And okay, so here we see what looks to be a razor put in an implement. One thing I wanted to clean up is that I think what you're saying is that there's a talk that somebody like another prisoner saw a prison guard walking by Keys' cell and the prison guard was covering his. I just wanted to.
The guy who, I don't know if he was an officer or part of the investigation, but whoever was interviewing the police officer interviewing the CO said that he saw it in the monitor.
Okay.
So he watched the CO walk by Keys' cell and shield himself from like looking inside. And he was like, I just thought that was really odd that you did that.
Yeah.
And the CO was like, well, I don't know.
Huh.
Don't know why I did that. Like he just basically the entire time he kind of plays dumb. I also find it interesting that like Keys wrote on a lot of people were asking about what he wrote on the cell wall.
Yeah,
if the only blood was mine, I would spill it.
Yep, I got it right here, but it's kind of like maybe I can zoom in on.
There's a closer up version, I think,
yep.
of it.
Yeah, I know.
But like, if you look at the way the blood's smeared on the wall, like where would it say 54? I'm wondering that because like it's just weird. But yeah, if the only blood was mine, I would spill it. I'm so curious about like, or a lot of people were curious about, what that means and why he wrote it. And I'm like, I think that this guy truly, I know people want more and like they want a deeper like answer. I think it's because it's so messed up that people want some kind of closure. And I don't think that's possible. I think this is like a sick psychopath who is crazy. Like we're not dealing with a right mind here. Like just the scene of his death is like embodies the kind of sickness that we're looking at. So sometimes it's like there's probably not a deeper meaning. He probably literally meant that. He's like, if I can't kill anyone else, I'm killing myself. Like that's the bloodlust. I'm gonna finger paint in blood now. Goodbye world. Like I just think he's pathetic. And yeah.
It seems to be a hazard of the true crime genre where people will speculate from their comfortable couch like what some crazy person was thinking when they did whatever, and you're like, yeah, maybe not. The other thing that I was going to say about that phrasing is it almost seems like it could have been from like the Bible or something. I don't know, just the way it is. I don't know, kind of archaic or something.
Let's ask ChatGPT.
Maybe a Slayer song.
Yeah, it could be like a lyric from
Raining
like
blood.
That would make a lot of sense because it's like
Seriously,
a
yeah.
sort of somebody else's interpret. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, and just to update you on the Susan Carr news, they do the auction deals. Sorry, I lost my place here. We have some good questions, so I want to get to them. But yeah, monthly, I believe, was the story there. Okay. Or is his creepy poem Ode to Death the only suicide note? That's a comment by Outdoor Loser 4340. And so that had also been interpreted as a suicide note, yes?
A lot of people say it's his suicide note because that's the paper that was in his cell when he was found. But we don't know when he wrote it. Like he could have written that months in advance. Like, the little the little skull drawings he did? Apparently those were found, like the FBI said they're found under his bed when he died, but apparently he'd done those a few months in advance. So this is just stuff he's been doing. And he also tried to kill himself a few months before this too. So I think there's like a timeline here that's not fully filled out from the FBI, or even like his prison files. And I think also there's like he was spending a lot of time alone all day for months. So he was definitely doing something. And like you can see in his effects in that little like tub of his belongings, there's a lot of papers in there. There's a lot of other stuff. Like we don't know how long he'd been working on this. We don't know. So I think people call it the suicide note, but I think his suicide note was actually this. I don't think it was the paper. I think it was this crap that he finger painted.
I think another thing that like we lose sight of is that when people are like in solitary confinement, like their mental health often declines. So it's another thing that could make it difficult to try to interpret.
Yeah. Like
Susan
imagine.
I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
No, I interrupted you.
No. I was just going to get to another question, so we should proceed.
I agree with you. It's a really, really important point. This guy was already fucked up. Now put him in solitary for 10 months.
Right.
Like, what is that going to do to his brain? Do you know what I mean? So, like, is there a deeper meaning? Probably not.
One of the most fucked up humans to ever live. And then he gets to jail. Susan asked a good question that we didn't really address yet. How did he get a razor in there? There's supposedly a sign on his door that said no razors.
Yeah, the sign on the door that said, "Do not give this man a razor." I'm so curious about that because I don't think I thought that it was on his door at the time, but I think that he was put on suicide watch months before. And I think that he tried to commit suicide months before this, like the first time. I don't know if that note was even on his door, but what we know from the interviews is that there's a list of people who get electric razors and people who don't, who get like the actual razor. And like the interview with the inmate, he was saying that like no one looked at the list or cared. So they probably saw his name on the list, but like didn't care. Right. And just, he said every morning they go to you and they ask if you want to take a shower and if you need a razor. And if you say yes, they're supposed to give you the razor of like the list that you're on. And I think they just gave him a regular razor. Like, I really think that if it wasn't on purpose, it was gross negligence. Like, I think they were like, this guy's a loser. He's a sick serial killer freak. Who cares?
Career, I've happened to have worked with 2 retired correctional officers. And based on my conversations with both of them, it basically confirms what my lovely wife just said, which is that they don't care that much. They think of these people the same way we do, maybe even worse than we do, because they have to interact with them every day. I was just a few days ago having a conversation with one of the 2 gentlemen that I've worked with who's in corrections, and he was telling me a story about losing his temper with an inmate who was basically every day this guy would threaten to kill him. And he said after a couple months of that, one day it just crossed him the wrong way and he lost his temper, burst out of the box, went into the guy's cell, closed the door behind him, and basically said, "What's up? What are we doing? I heard you want to you tell me every day you want to kill me. What are we doing?" And that kind of gives you if somebody was threatening you every day, would you? Yeah, sure. Here's your razor. Now
It's interesting that the correctional officer said that a lot of guys would mess with the COs, but Keys didn't. And he was like really quiet and kept to himself. But everyone knows why he's there. It's in the press. You got the FBI interviewing him. He gets his own special little cell. Like there's a top bunk there, and there's not another person in the cell. Like he's alone. And everyone knew he was like a serial killer. Even the inmate, I think he said this, if I recall, but like that the serial killers are looked at differently. Because even though if you commit a violent crime and you're in prison, you still see a serial killer and you're like, okay, but that guy's crazy. Yeah. So like there's an othering that even the worst of the worst violent criminals do to serial killers. They're like, yeah, I know I'm like a terrible person, but like he's really crazy. So like there's like a differentiating thing that happens with them.
Yeah.
And like people, like they're all locked in this box. The way that they must view someone like Keys is like,
yeah, it's like the littlest thing can like set off a huge, it's they're like caged in their no quarter, nowhere to retreat to. JMass 8895 was just speculating that he may have wanted to give a final send off to the FBI for having them do a wild goose chase, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Susan, he apparently Keys was a fan of ICP. Well, that will maybe reveal something. Is that true? Was he down with the clown?
He loved ICP. A bunch of his military buddies said that, and they have that song called "If I Were a Serial Killer."
Oh yeah,
which is so I hadn't heard it before. I like when I read that he liked ICP, I was like, well, I guess I'll take one for the team and go listen to their music.
They suck out loud.
That was fun.
Yeah. They're interesting guys, but like I don't think they were really into that stuff, but it was sort of like there was a minor genre. I was a big hip hop head back in the day, but everybody hated Insane Clown Posse except for people that liked them. So it was a weird thing.
They're kind of like they're much more successful, but they're kind of like a rap version of the Misfits or something.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. They have like their own weird band of travelers, but yeah, like the music isn't like, I don't even think Juggalos like ICP because they just suck.
They have a huge, crazy festival every year. It's not just a few travelers. They have like a festival in their own right that draws tens of thousands of people every year.
What is it?
The Gathering of the Juggalos.
Gathering, yeah, every year. I
thought that was a joke.
Shithole in Ohio.
No, it's a real thing. There's a documentary on it.
That's a real festival.
Yeah,
we've had this conversation before.
They're really interesting, like weird.
I don't remember that. I probably blocked it out.
There's the genre is called horrorcore, and anyway, I'm going to go into it.
Go into it.
There's the whole thing like before ICP, where other guys were doing the stuff where it was like shock jock shit is what it was.
Yeah.
And ICP weren't really into clowns or anything like that. Like they were just like two ghetto trailer dudes from Detroit that like came onto a business model that seemed to work, and they had a bunch of weird eras, but yeah, they just were I don't know, yeah, they sort of developed their own thing. It's kind of inexplicable, but it also intertwines with the wrestling world, which I think is hilarious. And it's basically
so weird.
Yeah.
Can I just say the weirdest thing to me is that Billy Corgan now like owns some kind of wrestling company. That's just so bizarre.
The lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins
so weird.
Is involved
so
in
random.
Yeah, it's just exactly, that's the best word for it. It's just nuts.
I guess I don't know if he's a fan, but at the same time, like if there's money in it, it could be a good investment. That's so random for him.
He's a real fan.
I think he's lost millions of dollars. So it's
Yeah, he's
Wow.
it's not a winner on
labor
either.
of love. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Uh,
That's so random.
Susan was asking about a picture of Keys in his tub of effects, and I think that maybe the picture that we were talking about earlier that was printed with Keys.
Yeah, I think that's at the top.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It maybe is. I don't want to speculate. I don't know who else is, but I think it's him and somebody else. I think. Yeah. Yeah. That one right there. Maybe. It's in the garbage.
Is that a pic of himself? That's a picture of him and his daughter.
Yeah.
And we just blurred her face because we kind of decided together. Parker and I talked about that a lot because there are other photos of her in like other evidence we've got, and we just decided like they really don't need to be. We personally didn't feel comfortable like publishing them because like why?
You're saying you're saying we, but I believe that my exact words were, I don't care.
I like went back and forth a lot on it.
Yeah.
I was like, should we just publish everything the way that it is because we care about full transparency? And I just went back and forth and like tortured myself over it because like it's a photo of a minor child. Like she's an adult now, but I guess I just basically was like why?
Yeah.
So
it's out there. Outdoor Loser appears to have done some research for us and says Google says that the words there may be related to a Slash song, Beneath the Savage Sun.
Interesting.
I'll pull that up here. Let me get back to what the word said on there so we can have it as a reference. That's really fascinating if that's true. But wow. Okay. If only the blood. Yeah. See if we can find that Slash.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
It was a blood red summer. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a blood red summer, one I can't forget, when you took the one thing all in this world I had left. For I will remember until the end of time. If it takes forever, retribution will be mine. This I know in the end, but I wanted you to know that I won't forget. No. I don't see the oh wait, it looks like it's at the end here.
Yeah.
Here, in the fields, you'll hear us crying for the ones we've lost and loved underneath the savage sun. How many killing seasons can you justify? How many dead and bleeding, only for an ivory lie? What was it, for the money, or was it for the thrill? If I could have my way, no, yours would be the blood I'd spill.
Well, no one accused Slash of being a wordsmith. What the heck? But yeah, that's interesting.
There's more here, but
yeah,
it's not like word for word. How many bleeding and how many died? The blood that they spilled cannot be justified. I don't know.
The that loves dark comedy wishes that he had included the bracketed guitar solo.
Great. I don't know what to do with that.
That's so funny.
Do you think Keys would have been killed in prison eventually? JMass 8895 asks.
Totally.
Probably.
I think he's so annoying that if he was put in the right situation, if they let enough people around him, he definitely would have at least gotten some fights or started them himself.
Yeah. I just laughing at JMass's comment about the Hatchet Man tattoo. Surprised Keys didn't have a Hatchet Man tattoo. That would have been so on brand, but apparently no.
It seems to me from things I've read regarding other serial killers who were murdered by inmates in prison, that there's a kind of a, what's the word?
Tacit agreement, maybe?
Well,
camaraderie.
No. I think the Gen Z or Gen Alpha kids are maybe using the word aura for this, but there's another word. But I think they get a kind of aura from killing serial killers the same way they do from killing pedophiles. So it like builds their reputation, maybe with their gang that they're affiliated with or what have you. And so, yes, I think he probably would have been killed in prison. In particular, he was, because of Samantha Koenig, and this is a people will say this about inmates who kill pedophiles. A lot of inmates have kids. And so, there are a lot of inmates out there who have 17, 18, 19-year-old daughters who would, if you think about the experience of being in prison, they're removed from their kids. And so it makes it more poignant for them. And it's that othering that Leo was talking about earlier, where they're just going to make sure he can't do it to anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jeffrey Dahmer's killer certainly gained like a level of notoriety. Another super chat. That's amazing.
That's the word I was looking for, notoriety.
AZ Mesa Tom from down there in the desert. Victoria, thanks. I enjoy all the information from your videos and research. Leo, thanks. You're welcome, of course. 59 bodies for Keys. Henry Lucas claimed over 100. I think Mesa Tom is skeptical of those numbers. Yeah, I think Mesa. Go ahead.
No. It was for you.
Well, I think it was maybe just I was throwing out there to the group, but I think basically everything I've seen about Lucas makes it seem like he was just taking every murder. They wanted to give him for some, I don't know, maybe again notoriety, but I'm dubious of that number for sure.
Yeah, I don't think there's evidence to support it. I mean, is it possible? Sure. Anything's possible. Is it likely? Is there evidence for it? Absolutely not.
Yeah, there's not evidence for it. And the question is this. So he's asked how many, and he says less than 12. So the FBI stated that they believe he has 11 victims. He paints 11 skulls. They think it's 11. So if he is so self-absorbed that, because the thing is, when he got arrested, he could have just kept his mouth shut. He didn't have to say anything. But he said a lot of weird shit that he shouldn't, that a lawyer would have been like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean,
like at one point
in the
he told the
comments-
Texas.
I'm sorry
What?
for interrupting. People in the comments on those videos that we released, his interrogation videos, there are hundreds of comments people have left being like, don't answer questions without a lawyer. What is this?
Yeah. So on the one hand, I mean, he even said to them, he's like, man, I don't remember the quote, but Keys told the Rangers, he was like, if they knew that about me, then they would have been knocking on my door a long time ago.
Right.
That's a really
What are you, Billy
weird thing to
Badass?
say.
Yeah.
Like, innocent people don't say that. So on the one hand, he's either completely wants to keep himself out of the press. He doesn't want any notoriety, or he does want the notoriety. That's why he talked to law enforcement. Why would he tell the police, the FBI, that he killed less than 12 people and they think it's 11? Do you know what I mean? Like, he either wants the notoriety and he's an egomaniac, or he isn't. So like a lot of people are like, well, he killed he killed hundreds of people. I'm like, there's no evidence for that. And if he did kill that many people, I think he would have bragged about it a little bit to somebody, at least one person. He would have bragged about it. But there's not a single person or agent or law enforcement officer that has said anything to that effect.
Well, or he would have at least teased it. It would have been 11 that you know about. Ha ha ha. Or you'll never know how many. It would be stuff like that. It wouldn't be.
You need to leave some sort of devious serial killer clues for us.
The only person I heard say it had been talking to TCBS. And he said, well, we think it's 11 people at least in America. So then TCBS is like, well, we think he's wrong about that. We think it's a lot more. And that means he only killed 11 people in America and killed other people internationally. And I'm just like, okay, again, there is not any evidence though. I think people, because he's so horrific and awful, people want him to be worse. And I'm like, he's bad enough already. Like,
do you want to share our and I could go either way.
Yeah.
Do you want to share our sort of TCBS story?
Oh,
that developed
don't tease me.
over the month. You both know what I'm talking about because I've talked to both of you.
Oh, you mean the Somewhere in the Pines,
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're related.
right?
They're produced by his production company, that and or either or whatever.
It's not even Elliott
Sure.
Smith album, either or.
Yeah, if you want to. Sorry,
Okay.
that confused me because I
No,
think
so-
of them as being different.
Okay, so I have a fun. Well, I don't know if fun's the word, but I have a story to share. So first we got emailed by Leo, and Leo's email was very professional, very well written, and very courteous. And Leo and I became fast friends, and here we all are chatting. A couple weeks later, we also got an email from Somewhere in the Pines, which is a TCBS affiliated podcast. They had seen a clip from the chat that Leo and I first had, the first one of these that we did. And they decided that they were going to shoot their shot too. And so they sent us an email. The email that they sent was sent to me, but addressed to Victoria. They got the quote from my conversation with Leo wrong. I was saying that we weren't sure if we were going to finish the free cut release of the documentary. And they interpreted that to mean that we might not finish the documentary at all, even though it's been out for about a year. I think a little over a year, if I'm remembering our release correctly. They did not bother to go look at our press kit, which is available on our website for literally anyone to go see. It would have taken 30 seconds, 60 seconds to go look. And you can infer what you like from that story, but that's pretty much how I view the, I don't know what to call it, the skill level of the group of people that we're discussing. If you can't be bothered to go check out a press kit of someone who you're emailing, who you want to collaborate with, what kind of a job are you doing when you look through evidence and come up with theories? I can't imagine it's a very thorough one, but that's just my opinion. And you're welcome to draw your own conclusions from the story that I've just shared.
I think true crime communities draw like such a wide, but like very specific archetypes of people. And that, yeah, as we discussed, it's like the longtime Zodiac researcher. That's what I think of it as, you know.
By the way, since I just told that story, and I wrote out a long reply to them that I never ended up sending. But since I'm talking about it, and since they've watched these clips before, I have some professional courtesy to offer them, which is when you're writing an email and you're not sure who's going to be answering it, the proper way to address your email is to whom it may concern. You do not ever want to send an email that you address to the wrong person when you're trying to work with someone. It's almost never going to lead to you collaborating with the person that you want to collaborate with. That's it.
Yeah. It's such a such a grimy world at times, you know. What can you say?
I think it's funny.
Brush the dirt off the shoulder, keep going, you know. Yeah. It's such a, it is very evocative of a certain experience that we've all had in working.
Yeah. When Parker showed me the email, I was just confused because I was like, the documentary has been out for like almost a year. Like that was just confusing to me. And I just thought like, because I used to be a fan of TCBS, and I was like, I thought Josh was like great, and like I don't feel that way anymore. But it was just kind of like disappointing, because I think of like, if you're researching people, you know, you're making all the trouble to like make a podcast and like do research. Like, I guess I just would expect, like, if I was emailing them, how would I do it? And like, my first thing is look at their website to see if any information's updated. So when you're talking to someone, you know what their most recent work looks like. And that's just like a basic level of due diligence that I myself would do. And so it was just kind of disappointing to like get an email where like if you go to crimecult.com, it shows right there. You can watch the full documentary, full 6-hour, 3-part documentary right now if you subscribe.
It's just really
And,
bad.
like, so that tells me that like,
yeah.
why would you want to collaborate with somebody if you don't even bother looking at their website? Like, it was just kind of disappointing.
As a creator, though, like stooping to the level to complain about like that amount of amazing free content, or it's just, I don't know, it just seems kind of antithetical to what, I don't know, what they should be doing, you know?
I have to share this too. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe this crosses the bounds of professionalism, but part of the email that I found super funny is they wrote that they thought Victoria might want to go on and discuss her future. And as I joked to her, I was like, the fuck do we have to talk about our future?
Really ticks all the boxes of the true crime slime ball, doesn't it?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, they were like,
Fucking shit.
yeah, like we could discuss what your future might look like or something, which I thought was weird.
Oh, somebody else.
Future looks like not being affiliated with TCBS. That's my response that I'm now making publicly. That's what our future looks like if you end up watching this. It looks like not being affiliated with your affiliates.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's anyone who's like watched our stuff or like listened to our podcast, or sorry, watch our YouTube stuff or our live streams knows how we feel about that podcast. And it went from like wanting to work with them to wanting nothing to do with them, like the exact opposite, just from our experience in the community. And like I was, I guess, friendly, or I talked to a couple people on the research team like probably a year or two ago, and they're super nice people. I have nothing bad to say about them. I thought they were great. So they probably aren't watching this, but yeah, it's always weird because I really liked them, but then I'm just like, how you guys are so good at research, how can you like stand by and like deal with this crap? Like,
Does it occur to you that maybe they're not as good at the research as you think they are?
Yeah, maybe.
I know I'm more willing
I at
to
least
step
think
on
one of them definitely is good at research, and the other one it became questionable the more I talked to him. But like I don't know. It's truth. The truth is always the most important thing.
Yeah,
you should always. That should be your goal.
I thought about seeing this last time. We briefly touched on that show because I only watched I tried to listen to it, and I kind of had like an immediate revulsion to the guy, and he also just had a bunch of inaccuracies. But I think it's because I've lived in Seattle for like 4 or 5 years, and it just is like the perfect archetype of a certain Seattle douche. Seattle's known as like, having the Seattle freeze. People are very unfriendly there. And he seems like the kind of guy that would like hang out at record stores and tell you why what you're buying is trash. That guy.
No, I feel that. The thing that bothers me the most, like, is talking down to the audience and basically moralizing everything. Like, he handholds people through the podcast. He makes things up, and then he like talks down to people. Like, there was this one.
Sorry to interrupt, but do you guys want to go on his booze cruise?
No.
Oh my God. I forgot that he does that.
Yeah.
So awful.
Or it's like a wine trip or something. Is it a cruise?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
That's fucking crazy.
If it's at a vineyard, it's still a booze cruise. I don't.
It sounds like the third ring of hell.
But that sounds terrible.
But it fits in with your Seattle comparison is what made me think of that. Because it's that same kind of guy who's I've known
a lot of that guy. There's a lot of that guy in Seattle.
Yes, there is.
It's a great city, but it's yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we've got.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
I also just was going to say that I thought that Outdoor Loser has just been cracking me up all night, and he asked about if anybody was a Tom Webster Delphi fan. I'm not exactly sure what that is. I know Delphi's a case. Do you guys know what that is?
Is that the name of that behavior analysis guy who was that him? I don't remember his name.
Let me Google it.
Tom Webster. Tom Webster?
Yeah, Delphi. Maybe he has a podcast or something. You know, it's funny,
Explore
like,
the worlds of comedy, true crime, and cooking with Tom Webster.
this sounds like it could be cringe funny though. Like I could be into that.
I wonder if he gets the same kind of hate that you got for your eating
I don't
videos.
know, but it's funny. His YouTube,
Oh
Tom
my God.
Webster.
I must watch this at some point. Is he funny or is he like funny like cringe? Because he looks cringe to me, but maybe I'm wrong. You know.
He looks
Oh, he gets hate. Okay, sorry. I'm having a
you
one.
know,
Wonder
that's
if
so
I have
funny to
to-
me because I've been joking about that.
I have to go deliver this key to
Mhm.
this lovely couple from the Navy who
Cool.
I'm just going to congratulate here because they're now subscribing to my channel. So congratulations on your new WRX,
Yay.
guys. I hope you love it. I hope it treats you well for a long time. And I'm glad that we were able to give you some good advice to hopefully help you build a better future for yourself.
It's a great car.
And congratulations again on your new car.
Mm.
I'll be right back.
That's so
interesting.
funny.
I'm
I
intrigued,
just
I'll say
subscribed
that.
to Tom.
Yeah,
What?
I'm intrigued. I'll say that just by looking at the visual here that I'm seeing.
I just subscribed to him.
Yeah.
I really I don't understand the hate. I don't.
No,
People, it's like if you're into true crime, you have to be like really somber and upset all the time. And I'm like,
Mhm.
that is not me. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna act like that. Okay. And like it's so funny the number of people who do who mix food and true crime or who mix comedy
Yeah.
and true crime.
Yeah.
Like
funny.
it's yeah.
It's I mean, I don't really mind what anybody does on it. It's just
It's how they do it. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I just have like a sort of like. I guess if I don't like it, I won't really watch it. Sometimes it's fun to like make fun of stuff, but I have like a really sensitive like secondhand embarrassment thing to where like if I'm saying that I would want to check this out, but if it really was cringe, I just would like do something else because I can't take it. It makes me crawl out of my skin,
Right.
Yeah.
I
'cause
did
feel bad
subscribe
for-
to Tom
yeah.
Webster, but now I need to go actually watch his stuff.
Like
So we'll see.
I just feel like that's been me so many times. Like I've been, making weird shit on the internet and, being lost in the, that's so interesting that it's really funny, like hearing people's like comments on this. Cause it's like making me want to listen to it more and then less and then more and then less. He's actually does. Okay. Well, maybe I should check him out. I'm not really familiar with the case. And do you know the Delphi case at all?
No.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I heard that it's like really super involved, but I really don't know. Okay, the guy on the bridge who was caught on video. Okay, 2017. Oh, and then this same gentleman, Tom Webster, did
Parker wrote about it.
research on the Mara Murray case, which is, I believe, the case in. Oh, I don't even want to say because I don't know for sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
My problem is I get like super invested in like one case and then kind of lose track of everything else in my life, the world.
Lot.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird too because there are true crime cases that I'm like, I have literally no interest in. I don't know why. There's like there's like my brain, and like if I hear of a certain case, something lights up and I become obsessed. Or I
Yeah.
have literally no interest, never going to watch it, never going to read about it. Wow, that sounds terrible. Oh, that's really unfortunate. And that's as far as I go into it. I don't understand the process. What makes me obsessed with a certain case over another, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like what it is. I just wanted to say because Arizona Mesa Tom wants to go watch some football. There's never going to be a paywall here. You can catch it whenever. I don't mess around with rewind or anything like that. So yeah, it'll be up this VOD or whatever you call it, the live stream. But yeah, I ask myself that all the time because I think it should be like at least somewhat revealing about like who it is that gets drawn into certain cases, or like what it is about me that's so messed up for not. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's not enough time in the world for all the things I'm interested in.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, it's, I don't know.
And like one
That's
thing
why
that,
I think it's so funny that this guy does comedy stuff
yeah.
too, because people think it's the opposite of true crime, but I'm like, it's the same mind.
Hmm.
Like, the interest in the dark stuff, I feel like you're more likely to have like a good sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
Because like you have to.
And you know, like in all their professions, the revolving around it, there's like a gallows humor that is just endemic.
Yeah, like if you meet like guys in the military, they're
Yeah.
usually really funny.
Yes.
Like a bunch of infantry guys together, it's like you will like piss yourself laughing. And my
Yeah.
whole family is military, and I
Oh,
think
okay.
there's like a level of like, I don't
Right.
know what it is, but
That's why you were over in the Middle East. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. If you kind of like get their whole deal, it's yeah, they're really like the best guys. I kind of feel bad because I just made this video talking about how law enforcement are all psychopaths. I didn't really say that, but I mean, I wonder how that would apply to
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. I'm just curious if how that transfers over the military in your experience. I mean, there's obviously some sort of affinity just because they go into one another profession, military into law enforcement and vice versa.
Yeah,
It's probably tough to say. Yeah.
I think it's interesting because like, are you an 18-year-old kid who no
Mhm.
shirt, no shoes, walks in, now you get health insurance, base housing allowance, an entire life and a career, and they'll pay for your education too if you want to become an officer. Like, are you in that situation, or do you like love death and you want to be an infantry guy with a license to kill?
Yeah.
Like, which is it? And then also, how psychopathic are you? Like, did you go in as an officer and now your goal is to be like a career general?
Hmm.
Like, what do you want to do? Or do you want to be like a fighter pilot? Like my dad's a fighter pilot.
Oh
And
yeah.
like there's a mental level there
Mhm.
where
Yeah.
like
It'd be
that's a
pretty sharp. Yeah.
lot of work. So, because it's like for psychopathic people, there's also the esteem of it, but there's also like a massive like learning curve and level of work that you have to do. Like a lot of people are going to wash out and get cut. Like they're just not going to make it. So
I'm
like,
not really quite sure if you're talking about serial killers or in the military or maybe both. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
I mean, I
you're
guess
talking
I
about the
don't know.
military. You're talking about the military, but yeah,
Yeah, and mostly the military, but like, I
it just
mean,
strikes me that
can you
you said
imagine like a
something.
serial killer, what that would do to their ego if they
Yeah,
try to join the military at 18 and like washed out?
yep. But it just strikes me that when you're talking about like how committed serial killers have to be to like this weird thing that they do, you said it was a sort of similar thing where it's like their whole life's work essentially. And a number of serial killers have commented about their serial killing like in that sort of vein. Susan had an interesting comment about she's more interested in the thought process. I think I am too. And one thing I wanted to say, Susan, is you talked about how he said he was jazzed when he's hunting and killing people, and there's some really interesting comments from the Butcher Baker, another Alaskan serial killer, Hansen, saying that he really didn't enjoy killing people. It was the hunt, which is, I think, fairly revealing.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think it depends if they're like sexual sadists or not,
Yeah.
because a lot of them are doing it so that they can like, you know,
Hmm.
like what is their ultimate goal? And I think they can like multiple aspects of it.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I'm thinking about
they're all
doing.
different.
Hmm. That's right. I wonder like how much it is like they exist on a continuum, as Philip Fector MMA was talking about, or whether or not there really are specific groupings. Because I'm always kind of skeptical of like these groupings that the FBI makes up, like disorganized, organized. It just seems like they have pretty limited utility. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so like strange to me. Like all the different categories, because at the end of the day, how do we really know? Like, you're getting the information from the least trustworthy people possible.
Yeah, right. Which is
And like,
what DB was saying.
I don't know, like, are they an organized killer, but they don't like to clean their room? Like, what does
Yeah.
that mean? Like, I know I'm making a joke, but
No, it's
like with Keys, like you could literally see photos of what his house looked like. And like, he didn't even have money for a lawyer.
yeah.
Like, he couldn't afford anything, but then he's somehow like highly meticulous.
The most meticulous.
Yeah, the most meticulous serial killer ever
Yeah.
the FBI has ever seen. And yet he's been captured because he did the dumbest thing
Yeah.
possible. Like, the way he was caught was so dumb.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do not believe that he thought you couldn't track ATM cards. Like, I don't believe that.
Yeah, it's not like it was like 2001 or something like that. Even that would be kind of silly, but yeah, 2012.
Like, you're smart enough to park your car away from the ATM camera. Well, I
Hmm.
guess he didn't, because it showed it. He thought he was parking it away, and then like it showed the car in the very back. But it's like, I don't know. He's aware that there's an ATM camera. Like, how does he? I don't know. It's weird.
There's so many things that are in the profiles that are mentioned in Mindhunter that are like, God, they just are so interesting to think about, like what they just make no sense. They're like non sequiturs, like probably 5 or 6 different profiles in the book. John Douglas predicts which color the serial killer's car will be, not just the make and model, but it'll be a red Volkswagen Beetle, which is, a popular choice.
That's
It's-
interesting. Yeah.
and
I
he
think
never
so,
explains
but-
why. He never explains why. So it's like, anyway, I'm thinking about doing that as the next like longer form video, because a lot of people are like trying to say like, oh, his work might still have value even if he's, or they think that profiling has value. But I mean, I don't know, maybe on some level it does, not based on my reading, but I think when they just see it all laid out bare, it's pretty clear that it was just Cracker Jacks. It was just, it's not really, can't really make sense of it. So I don't know.
I think
That's what
there are
I
like
get.
educated guesses you can make. That makes sense.
Sure,
But it's
yeah.
like the red car. It's like, oh, it's because it's flashy and he has an ego. I'm like, okay, but if he also has a brain and doesn't want to get caught, he might go with like a common color card. Like,
Yeah,
you're
he-
making a big assumption about the way that he thinks based on, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Sure, yeah. And but the
because a
thing
lot of
that,
the
like,
ego games serial killers are playing out are in private with the
Right.
victim. Like, the only
Right.
people, there was this interesting wow, why can't I remember his name? He's this like, I don't remember. He talks about like cluster B personality stuff, but this guy talks about like the intimacy of death and why serial killers have like interpersonal relationship problems and attachment style problems, and that death and experiencing death with another person is like extremely intimate to them. And so like that is how they're able to get like an emotional connection with another human being, which is interesting because I don't think serial killers would ever talk about that. But like, I thought that was interesting.
It seems like kind of along the lines of there's actually a third book that he's mentioned that he was really meaningful to him. I didn't really mention anything because it's a fictional book by Dean Koontz called Intensity. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but it has the passage in there where it talks about like the apotheosis of feeling that the serial killer gets. It's a really weird book, but I can kind of see why Keyes likes it, because it describes a serial killing from the perspective of a serial killer and the victim. It's, very weird.
Interesting. I read Intensity and I watched the movie, and I actually think it's really good. Like, I really like that book. Yeah, there's a movie that came out. I can't remember when, but I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was good.
I'm sure.
And I really like the book. I tried to read the other book that
Dark Dreams? Dark
Um,
Dreams by Roy
no, I've
Hazelwood.
read that. I
Okay.
read Dark Dreams and Mindhunter, but I tried to read Mr. Murder
Oh,
by Dean Koontz. Apparently, Keys had a copy of it.
how interesting.
It
Huh.
sucks. It's so bad. It's like not good at all. Like I hated it. I didn't finish it
Hmm.
because it was not good. Which is too bad because Intensity is such a good book and Mr. Murder is like garbage.
That's
Just my
interesting.
personal opinion.
Yeah, no, I definitely need to check it out just because I'm always interested in what Keys would have seen in something.
Like
I also think my opinion of it is obviously colored by the fact that that's why I'm reading it. You know.
maybe I could try it again. Maybe I like wasn't in a good space to like read it, but it just felt like it went on forever.
Mm,
Like it's this guy who has like amnesia and he can't remember stuff.
mm.
So he'll be like, I think, I think on the page, and then it like
Oh no,
won't tell us what because he can't remember.
that
And
sounds
I'm like,
twisted.
this is annoying me. Like,
Hmm.
spit it out, bro. Like what? But Intensity was good.
Amnesia is always kind of hack is like a plot for a book like that too. It's like kind of a warning sign. DB had another interesting comment about. I should put this on screen. With Keys was unique to me in the way that he was always on, always looking, but he seemed very disciplined. He wouldn't pull the trigger if he thought it was too risky. One thing I was going to mention is that in Hazelwood stuff, he talks about how like a commonality between these sexual sadists is that they have compulsive driving behaviors, which is really fascinating. So I think they're all kind of always on. But did you have any thoughts on like maybe the discipline part or?
I mean, think of it like an alcoholic or like an addict. Maybe throughout the whole day, for weeks, months, years, you're always thinking like, oh my God, when am I gonna have my next drink? Okay, it's a couple hours till 5, so I can like stop at a liquor store on the way home. And then when I get home, I can have this much. And then I'm gonna go out with friends so I can budget for this much alcohol. You're always thinking about it, but you're not gonna drink at 10 a.m. at the office because you're gonna get fired. So like it's the same with Keys. He's always thinking about this thing he's obsessed with, but he's not going to do it because he's going to get caught. Like, so like that's how I think of it. I think that he's always thinking about it. He's like, oh wow, look at that lake. I wonder how deep that lake is. But he's like driving and his daughter's in the back seat. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think he's always thinking of it. Or he's like driving through a small town and he's like, I wonder how big this town is. Like, how quickly could I drive from one end to the other of this town? And like, what kind of bank do they have? I wonder how much money the bank carries and how many tellers they have. I wonder if this bank has like bulletproof glass in it. But like, he's going to his mom's house. So like, you're always thinking of it like an addict would, any addict would.
What Victoria just described is what made me, in a previous discussion that we had, say that to me, he's not an organized anything.
Right. It's like a dry drunk kind of,
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Very, very much so.
And this chat has really given me like a bunch of great ideas because DB was just talking about how he thinks Hazelwood's the most realistic. I agree, but he suggesting comparing and contrasting the books and how they tell the same BS stories is like exactly what I should do because that's like Anyway, that's brilliant. Thank you for that tip, DB. Another fugitive from justice there. Would you guys ever get into the DB Cooper case, Dan Cooper, properly? The guy that hijacked the airplane from Portland and got away with like $50,000.
I'm a little familiar with the story, but I've never done some kind of a deep dive on it.
Yeah, probably West Coast. Yeah,
I've like read a little bit about it, but then they could never find the guy. So part of me was like, he got away with the money. Like, I don't know. But they never found, and then like over the years, people have come forward and been like, it was my dad.
Right.
And like, so like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I kind of, no. It was random. I think the last time I read about that case, it stuck out in my mind because I read about it when the whole tiger thing came out, and I was reading about Carol Baskin's husband disappearing. And for some reason, DB Cooper popped in my head, and I went back and like read about his case like for like an hour, and then that's it. Like I really didn't deep dive into anything.
That story
But
wasn't that also part of the plot of Justified? Wasn't DB Cooper part of the plot of that show?
Oh, I don't know. I've heard of the show. I haven't seen it, Justified, but
I think she and
So good.
I watched it together. I'm not sure if I'm
remember that.
remembering that correctly.
yeah, he
I
shows up in
remember
a
that
lot of stuff because like one of the big reasons why he's still sort of current is because people are always speculating about who he could have been. So yeah, it's a really interesting case. There's not a whole lot of evidence out there. DB again, talking about how he thought it was significant that the story that Keyes told about how he was staking out that person and it was like inches away from them in the rain. That was definitely a very memorable scene in American Predator. So I'm trying to remember what that was in reference to. Maybe the fact that he was, anyway.
Oh yeah, he said that happened, or I don't know if he said it. I don't remember.
In that he was
hearing.
disciplined, so that was maybe an example of his discipline. Yeah, I wonder.
I don't know. Is that disciplined?
Yeah, I don't think
Someone's getting out of their car and it's
Yeah.
raining and they're running to the door so they can get out of the rain, and you
Yeah.
reach out to grab them and like miss. Like, why even tell that story? Like,
Organized.
Like, I just think like
Yeah.
like I don't know. What a weird story. And creepy for sure. But he said that happened, or apparently, I don't remember where I read this. Was it American Predator? That it happened the night that he was getting Bill and Lorraine Courier. But then I actually, after I like got updated files and stuff, I read that he wasn't trying to take a person. He was just trying to get a car. So he was trying to hijack a car so he could use the car to go take a couple.
Oh.
And then he ended up just using Bill and Lorraine Courier's car. So I'm like, I don't know. And I also looked up the historical weather record, and it was not raining.
You're so on it. You're like, well, that's one second.
Even raining.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I think it rained earlier in the day, and then it rained again like the next afternoon. So it couldn't have happened a couple hours before that because it wasn't raining. So I think he either like misremembered it, or I don't know, because sometimes when different stories come out, it like muddies the waters of like what the actual record is.
Right. Yeah, it just left me to wonder, like, if Keyes was a ticking time bomb and like it was inevitable, or if there's some like specific series thing that happened to him that made him just turn into like a shitbox at some point, because it seems like it had been a fairly long period where he was not really working or doing anything. Like he seemed like he had like some sort of major depression, which you sort of wanted to speculate what the reason would be for a serial killer, you know?
I think depression is very, very commonly comorbid with psychopathy. I think there's with all the personality disorders, there's a very common empty feeling that they all tend to deal with. The
Anhedonic, where you just can't feel pleasure, because you're like redlining it so much with that weird shit that you're doing or whatever.
Yeah, nervous system is so
I
jacked
think of
up
like
that it needs too much serotonin and dopamine to effectively maintain any kind of an emotional balance.
Yeah, a lot of stars talk about, or like rock stars talk about that, how the high of being in like an arena is so much that when they get off stage and it's like dead silence and they have to go back to like a hotel room, they don't want to do it. It's too extreme. So then they go and party and get like fucked up and try to like, I don't know, get some groupies to hang out with them. Like anything they can do to keep it going because it's too extreme of a change. So I could see how like And they don't even, they're out in the open, so they don't even have to really hide it. But someone like Keys, who's doing stuff that he has to hide, he can't just like slowly segue off of it. He has to like immediately go home to like his kid and his girlfriend and act fucking normal. So like,
This is a little bit of an aside now, but I'm pretty sure that's what this song "I Want to Be Sedated" is about.
good
Yeah.
song.
29 hours ago. Yeah.
Oh my God, it's been 3 hours. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm ready to
Whoa.
take lift off whenever you guys are ready. It just made me think of how, and one thing I thought John Douglas had something interesting was he talked about the difference between a MO, which is like your typical way of entry or something like that, that can change, versus the signature, the thing that the serial killer is impelled to do, like the sexual act or whatever. And that seems like there's like a weird resonance with what rock stars do, because they seem to, or like athletes, like they come back despite all evidence that they're washed, I don't know. It's really interesting.
That's so funny. I mean, I think it becomes your identity and your obsession and your whole life. So if you've just been doing something for years, it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
I mean, even serial killers, they're not famous at the time when they're doing anything. They get famous after. But like for someone like an athlete or a musician who's like famous, and they're famous for like 2 decades, it's like, what else? There's all these eyes on them and pressure to like do more. Or like have a comeback, or like they have a whole like system behind them that wants to make money off them. They have like a whole host of employees and like businesses. So there's a lot of pressure for them to like do something that maybe they probably might suck at. I don't know.
There's a great Mitch Hedberg joke about that, where he says that I forget the setup for the joke. It's something like being famous or being in Hollywood or being funny, one of the three. He says is weird because people always want to ask you what else you can do. So it's like, okay, you're funny, but can you write? So that's kind of that progression.
Right.
Yeah. So, do you guys have any plans for future stuff you wanted to talk about, or I don't know if we're pretty deep into this one, so I just wanted to throw that out there because I had a vague memory of maybe something like that. I don't know. Much.
I don't know.
Let's save that for not the tail end of a 3-hour podcast.
One thing I also just want to mention, this is like, I was talking to it briefly about, I'm losing my mind, but editing shorts is like so much harder than it should be. Like changing the thumbnail nearly broke me earlier. It's like,
oh my God, why do you have to use 2 different YouTube apps? It's
insane. You can't change the thumbnail in YouTube Studio. You have to go to the actual YouTube app and hit the plus sign. It's the only way you can change the thumbnail. It makes no sense. And then after you edit it or after you post it, I don't think you can change it unless you log in on your computer.
No,
which is the third thing.
You can.
It's crazy.
You have to use the regular YouTube app, not YouTube Studio and not YouTube Create, which is their editing software that they made to compete with CapCut.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I really was like,
figured that out accidentally.
Yeah. It made me want to cry earlier. That's all I want to say. It was just so much. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's a lot. Instagram just came out with an editor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I also used.
Great, another one.
I need to stop talking about editing because it's like ruining my life. All right, well, yeah. I guess we'll leave it there unless you guys had anything else you wanted to wrap up. That was a lot of fun. It went by really fast, and
yeah, it was. Thanks for having us on, Leo.
For me.
Yeah. Well, you weren't here for most of it, but next time.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll be back. I guess noon is just pretty much the time on Sunday, so that's the plan for now.
Everyone subscribe to our channels if you're not already subscribed to all 3 of them.
Go check out Crime Cult, crimecult.com.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.